lethal, and loud. This is the Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Market Conspiracy Keepers N.F.L. demo.
News Talk 1310 KFKA.
You've only got a couple of hours left. If you're going to pull a party out of your ass, you might want to stand up.
Hello. Thank you for listening to the New World Order Report with the Conspiracy Keepers. My name should not matter. What should matter is that the information presented here be given to everyone you know. We hope that you, the listener, explore the possibility that we are in fact being controlled by forces well outside the circle of decency and morals. A circle that is just part of the many symbols used every day to keep you in fear, in the dark, and uninformed. Our topic today, and every day, is the New World Order agenda. How do you know which societies are working with the New World Order and which ones are not? Find out now. Here come the Conspiracy Keepers.
Good evening, Gotham, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. Hour 2 of 3 hours of intellectual intercourse, out-of-the-box discussion, ADD theater, and in this case, for Thursday night, headlines for Friday, 9/29. The Conspiracy Keepers, live from the Pro Realty Old Town Studios, still a Quantum News Network production. Joe Lanier joining us on the Greeley Westside Liquor Hotline. It is Oktoberfest for this weekend. I know this only because on Wednesday I go pick up my pumpkin Xanax. But, yes, so Greeley Westside Liquor, 970-353-0036. Monday through Friday, they deliver from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. This Saturday, Sunday, all Saturday, Sundays is 1 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, Joe Lanier is joining us on the Brick House. I'm sorry. Damn. 2.5, well, it's 2.5 years. I'm sorry.
It's all right.
The Greeley West, and they're across the street from each other.
It's all good.
No, the new sweatshirts aren't in yet. I'm still wearing an old one that's not even supposed to exist. I was supposed to turn them all in. You know me. Anyway, welcome back, Joe Lanier.
Thank you.
And our discussion, which I told Joe, he's sounding good. If he's still good at that, we're going to go at 17. Joe, when you hear the music, you got 30 seconds. And if you're good to the bottom, we'll sneak you to the bottom. But
okay, sounds good.
The New World Order agenda, the NFL, corporatism, the symbolism of the flag, how it plays into the occult, how it plays into the agenda, and let's lay it out as if it were a demo, because it is.
Yeah, so what I want to get to, and what we're getting into right now, before we get into the powers that be that's behind this, I want to get into face value as to what this is looking like for now for America. And I believe, by the way, this is one of the things one of the instances I don't believe that the New World Order created this. I believe that Colin Kaepernick did this start this on his own, and I believe the New World Order took it and ran with it, and that's what we're getting into now. But I don't want to get too much into that before I get into face value about what America thinks about this and why America is really racist as far as what they believe about this whole thing. So we talked a little bit about this before, about how white America versus black America sees this whole incident. And I talked about, what if this was a different issue? What if it was about small businesses that are being put out of business by corporate America and the government is funding them, and there was a protest that there shouldn't be a fascist America to where government and big businesses in bed together. I don't believe that you would see the same fallout from white America, because you know what? It kind of it's too close to home. It's like, well, I got a business. Yeah, I can see that. They wouldn't call him a punk if it was a white person objecting to this, they wouldn't call him a thug. They wouldn't call him anything of the sort. That's all reserved toward blacks.
Can I bring up one point
Go ahead.
of order?
Go ahead.
What about the whole Tim Tebow Christian kneeling and cross and all that? Or are we comparing apples and pomegranates?
There are some similarities there. And by the way, that's my point. I don't want to get into too much about Tim Tebow because I don't believe he's a Christian. I believe he's an occultist. I believe he's posing as a Christian because there's a lot of reasons why I believe that. But let's say this. Even when he was doing the kneeling, nobody called him a thug.
Nope.
Nobody called him a punk. That's because he's white. Those are black terms. That's why they're calling Kaepernick these terms.
And again,
So
when you and I are together, we
thing.
don't discuss race as an issue because we're friends. We're busy chasing skirt and drinking beer.
Right.
But when you were bringing that up, the only name that could come into my head was Tim Tebow, and all. Okay, I'm sure if my brain was thinking deeper, I'm sure there are others in the past who've done whatever they've done as a symbol of whatever type of defiance, but Tebow wasn't in defiance.
Nobody labeled Tim Tebow as a punk.
Nope.
Like they're doing with Colin Kaepernick. We see this as a racist issue. Now, let me point this a little bit further. So, I just pointed out if this was a different issue, if it was big business, you wouldn't see the same outcry. Now, because Colin Kaepernick is black, he's saying, well, this is our issue with the police because we're dealing with this. Now, white America can't deal with that because we haven't had these issues with the police. We might have been stopped for speeding. But let me give you an issue that I know firsthand. When I lived in Los Angeles, I had a talent agency which I would go on commercial auditions a lot. And I would see people that a lot of people would know. And one of them wasn't a friend of mine. I didn't hang out with him, but we would talk. I mean, he was cordial to me. And this was Florence Griffith Joyner's husband. His name was Al Joyner. He was the nicest guy you would ever want to meet. Now, there was an instance when the police stopped him, hogtied him, beat him because of mistaken identity. And he was not just a low-life thug like you would think. I mean, he was a famous guy. So the police don't stop at famous or non-famous when it comes to black. Now, let me tell you this, which is what Colin Kaepernick is about this. He's saying this happens to us. How many famous people do you know that are white who have been hogtied and beaten by the police because of mistaken identity? None. It only happens to the black people because to the police, mistaken identity, they all look like us.
That and
Colin Kaepernick is absolutely right. He says, people, you've got to understand, there's two Americas here. White America, black America. This happens to us. It does not happen to you, and people need to know about
it. Man, this is about the most racially divided conversation we've had in 20-plus years. Joe?
I know, but this is what's happening. Wait a
minute. You're the one who said, stop.
Go ahead.
You're the one who said, when do you see white people getting hogtied and beaten up and tossed in the back of a car? I'm sorry, Joe. Have you not seen an episode of Cops lately in the last 20 years? Now, granted, I'm going to take a lot for this, but they're rednecks wearing the wife beater, one sandal, TV's on the blink, not surprised the police are in the house. But in all fairness, Joe, your comment was, how many times do we see this? Well, okay, in all fairness, Cops has been running for 20 years, and we've been seeing cops hog-tie. Now, yes, this is even worse now with the rebel flag behind me, but it's always in the South, quote, the rednecks. But, yeah, they've hog-tied him and tossed him in the back of the car, and I'm right.
Let me interrupt. Okay, no, I know it happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen ever, so I might have misspoken by saying it never happens.
Fair enough.
What I am saying is it's not about mistaken identity.
No.
These rednecks that this happened to had something to do with it. This is not about
This is
somebody
wife
who's actually
beating, yes.
known and had this happen to because it was mistaken identity.
Got
this
it.
only happens to blacks. It doesn't happen the other way around.
If it does, it's certainly not coming across my radar, no.
Exactly. That's my whole point. So,
all right.
That's what we're getting to. Now, what
now
we're
wait a
going to
minute.
get to now, do we have time before the break to get to what's really behind this whole thing?
Well, that's what I was going to say. You sound okay. We're 15 after.
Okay.
All right, let's go by the numbers. We're 15 after, 15 to the bottom. We'll finish up with Joe Lanier. Where's this going? Find out in the next segment of the Conspiracy Keepers.
They paved paradise and put up a parking lot with a pink hotel, a boutique, and a swinging hot spot.
Are you listening to the Scooter McGee Show? The misery does love company. Stay tuned to News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market. And it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change. But Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com. You got a favorite t-shirt, right? Come on, admit it. You've got several. From killer concerts, the Grand Canyon, Vegas, and memories live in them. Create a treasure to remember with Windmill Productions. Years from now, you'll still be thanking Trevor and Kim for the attention to detail and quality that make the memories last a lifetime. Located at 813 East 18th Street, Windmill Productions on Facebook, Windmill Productions 914, or windmillprographics.com. Or give them a call, 970-702-2636.
It's football season, and that means the Ernest College Junior Show airs Tuesday nights at 6:05 on 1310 KFKA, live from Stuffed Burger Bar on the 9th Street Plaza in downtown Greeley. Join the head coach and me each Tuesday evening as we discuss Bears football. Your questions and comments are welcome on Twitter at UNC Bears Radio, #AskTheCoach. Find me on Facebook at Troy.Coverdale. Or join Ernest and me at Stuffed Burger Bar in Greeley Tuesdays at 6:05. The Ernest College Junior Show on 1310 KFKA.
Ho, ho, ho.
Wait! It's too early to think about Christmas.
Not at all, my dear. We need to prepare for Greeley's official holiday kickoff, the Greeley Lights the Night Parade.
Greeley has a holiday parade?
Yes, indeed, and I'll be in it on November 25th in downtown Greeley. You should be in it too. Download your parade entry form at visitgreeley.org. You'll have fun decorating your entry with lights, and you'll give thousands of families a beautiful holiday gift.
I'm on it, Santa. Ho, ho, ho.
Everybody calls it the gold standard. In Eden, they call it the Gould standard. Gould Parts in downtown Eden is your answer for any part you need. Parts for cars, trucks, tractors, or heavy equipment. At Gould Parts, if we don't have your part, we'll find it. We'll even make parts for you like hydraulic hoses right on the spot. Gould Parts has been a staple in northern Colorado for over 50 years and is your source for quality Napa parts. Call Alan Gould and his great staff today at 454-3355. That's Gould Parts in downtown Eden, proud sponsor of Preps Radio.
And now, a Sport Clips well-played moment.
Gentlemen, the human brain is a 3-pound question mark. Some say it can move objects just by thinking about it. Sport Clips agrees. Think about your hair getting shorter, and it will. A great MVP haircut experience with a hot steam towel, massaging shampoo, and sports on TV. Don't fight the thought. Come in, sit down, and look at your brain in the mirror and say, well played, sir.
Sport Clips, located in Fort Collins, Greeley, and Longmont, or online at sportclips.com.
Fast with the headlines, but even faster than wireless. This is the Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
Be guided by what he says. It's your only hope.
Relax, don't you rest when you want to go to rest. Relax, don't you rest when you want to come.
Welcome back. Now, in theory, we'll wrap it up here with Joe Lanier. Bottom of the hour, then we'll do On This Day. If he wants to stick around, he's welcome to. But then we know the drill, we cut him loose. But we're focusing tonight on the NFL. It's chewed up an entire week's worth of news cycle. Forget about the deficit. Forget about the debt. Forget about a pending war. on multiple fronts. Forget about all that. Focus on the minutia and the symbols and the symbolism behind it and what it really means. Well, let's talk to the expert, Joe Lanier.
Thank you. Well, what I really think is happening here, and I want to switch over right now, is to not only face value, which is what we've talked about, but what's the agenda behind it? Initially, this was an issue about Colin Kaepernick versus the police, which we know that's an issue. There's no question that's an issue. There's no question that that's an issue that needs to be addressed. But all of a sudden, it has changed to now it's blacks versus the military and disrespecting the military who have died for your rights. It's like, where did this come from? This wasn't what this was all about. Because the power elite control the media. Remember that. They control the media. They control the thought process of the nation. So they don't really want this to be an issue necessarily between citizens and the police, because they know that's an issue. We've all been stopped, and we didn't deserve it. We've all been harassed by the police. We know that. So they don't want to go there. Where they want to go is where most people will not argue that there are soldiers that have laid down their lives for this country, and we've got these uppity blacks that don't like that, which is not the issue at all. But what they've done now is they've created a race war, which is what they want. They are like the people that go into pit bull fighting, and they want the pit bulls to kill each other. The elite see us as pit bulls, slaves, and they want us to see us fighting among each other. So they've changed the issue, because all they had to do, because remember, they control the media, all they had to do to stop this issue was say, okay, during the national anthem, don't show any pictures of anybody kneeling, don't interview him afterwards, and this thing will die. But no, that's not what they've done. They have blown this issue up way out of proportion, and they have distorted it to no end, saying, oh, this is about the black community showing disrespect to our troops. And our troops, they know, is going to be blacks and whites on that side, and they're going to say, oh, this is so wrong, and we're going to get pit bulls among each other. And that's what they want. They want us fighting among each other. They want civil unrest, because when they get that, they know that we are not going to be as one together and fight the real enemies, which are the people that are controlling us, which are the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Reynolds, the people that own us. If they can get us fighting among each other, and racial wars have always been their favorite, because if we look at our history, they love that when that goes on. So that's what's behind this whole thing. So we've talked about it at face value, what's going on, and we've talked about what the powers that be are behind it. So all I want to say to our listeners is don't fall for either of it. Understand what's really going on.
What if we're to go by what you are saying is correct, and we know that, for lack of a better word, I use the term very loosely, the playbook.
Yeah.
What do you think we could expect next? Is that even a fair question, or no, because this hasn't played itself out yet?
It hasn't, but I think that's a good question, and let me give you an answer, because the Illuminati are very clever as what they do. Some issues they will orchestrate out of nothing because they want certain things to happen. I sincerely believe that they didn't orchestrate this event. I think that Colin Kaepernick took this upon his own, and it took a life upon its own, and they say, wow, we can capitalize on this because we can make this a race war now. So they're very clever as far as creating events and capitalizing on events and blowing them way out of proportion, because remember, they control the banks, they control the media. So even though Colin Kaepernick was doing what he thought was right, I believe what they they did was they took it and ran with it and made it something that it isn't. And I'll give you another example. This happened back in the 60s because the Black Panthers were the same way. The Black Panthers initially was a real event to where it was dissension among what was going on. But what happened was, once the Illuminati figured that out, they had their tares among wheat going in there and making it something that it wasn't, to where all the world thought that the Black Panthers were really bad people. And they really weren't initially, but they made it into that to where it's a race war now. So we saw the same thing spring its head right now. Remember, the Bible said there's nothing new under the sun. It all happens again. So they love race wars. I mean, that divides a nation like no other. And they want this nation divided, other than Republican and Democrats, which they created in the first place.
Right.
Now they have white and black. And by the way, when they get this nation divided, they own you.
Again, divide and conquer. Sun Tzu out of the war. Sun Tzu out of war. I'm sorry, Sun Tzu, the art of war. Anyway, you brought it up again. I did not. You brought up the Bible and biblical prophecy. As I started with the question about the New World Order playbook, again, there are many, of course, when we bring this up, oh, no, they're not pedophiles. They're not occultists. You guys are making it. Okay, fine. And if you choose not to believe that, that's fine. But these people, they do believe in Lucifer. They do believe.
They do. That's their God.
And so, again, just because you don't, again, so many people can't imagine the evil that lurks in the hearts of men. And I don't mean to paraphrase a literary artist who said that, but that's the truth. And equally cliche is as true, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist. And
Exactly.
And I paraphrase that from what was the Kaiser Soze movie? The Usual Suspects.
Right.
So, and again, now, and we're going to get to On This Day You're Sounding Okay. We're 3 minutes to the break. You want to stay through On This Day and then go?
Yeah, I will do that.
Cool.
Yes, I like that break. So, yeah, I will stay.
Okay, cool. Because this answer may take a little longer. So we have the New World Order playbook, and yet within that group, we've agreed there are the white hats and the black hats, and there are the occultics and the pedophiliacs versus those who may not necessarily be down that path, but they're still down a dark path. Now, when I said the playbook, I was only referring to the New World Order playbook. I was not bringing up necessarily biblical prophecy.
Yeah, right.
Can we take anything out of this symbolism and behavior of kneeling? In particular, they knelt for the national anthem in the United Kingdom, and they stood for God Save the Queen.
Yeah, right. I saw that.
Okay.
Right.
Can any of that be equated to biblical prophecy?
Yeah, well, I think any time that you see, we know what the New World Order is. We know what their agenda is.
I know, but you're much better on biblical prophecy than I am. On the biblical prophecy side, okay, the Book of Armageddon I'm good with, and the prophecies of St. Malachi I'm good with. But you've brought in insight before that I haven't because, again, remember, I was raised by Jesuits.
I know. Which owns the Catholic religion, by the way. We know that.
You know I'm much better now, though.
I know.
But so that's why I ask, of all of this, of the shenanigans of, again, the misdirection, and again, through the use of symbols and symbolism and occultism, does any of that play into the religious prophecies, especially since we just had this week, it now starts, again, the guy's wrong, now we're pushing it to October. No, September 23rd started, in theory, what is the sequence of events that begins the end of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that if we were to watch the signs, we're going to see that what they're going to be doing is they're going to be creating civil unrest. They love it when we fight among ourselves. They love it when any incident comes up where a mass shooting comes up where they can disarm us. If you watch those two issues, I think you're going to really see what's going on. They want us to fight among each other, and they want to disarm the people because no tyrant has ever existed where the people are armed. So look for school shootings, look for mass shootings, and look for things like we're seeing right now in the NFL when black is against white. That's what they love.
Now you just spooked me, because here it comes, Joe, and here's Third Eye, the same Third Eye. Oh, by the way, I told the story last night because I was looking through the dark room in the glass, and I brought up when we were at the Heartthrob that night. Anyway, and it was only because of a story from 2003 when I was in Market 41. Anyway, reality. I can actually see this now, what you just said. Okay, a 40-plus-year-old white Christian veteran somehow manages to sneak in his 1911, his Colt 45, sneaks it into the stadium and winds up shooting innocent civilians over this kneeling bull.
Right. There you go.
I could actually see that as a false flag. Oh, yeah, because all we got to do is have a Manchurian candidate go pull the right gun out of the right bathroom vent, and it's all over.
Yep. And one thing I want to add, and I've talked about this on this show before, and I want to add this before we go.
Yeah, we got to go to break.
Because the NFL is really huge on this. I believe that the Super Bowl a few years ago with the 49ers, by the way, Colin Kaepernick was the quarterback, and the Ravens, they really wanted to do a tragedy of that state because we saw it in Sports Illustrated. It said, there will be blood, talking about the Harbaughs. There will be gore, talking about Frank Gore. They were giving us a hint. They didn't do it, but they did turn off the lights for 33 minutes, which is another Illuminati signal.
I was going to say, and that was the argument we started with the white hats and the black hats.
Yeah,
and that was them intervening and preventing it.
Yeah, so sometimes they will change their course. I believe they wanted blood, and they wanted something to happen there. For whatever reason, they changed their plans. They will do that sometimes.
We are 32 after. By the time I get through the read, 33 after. 27 to the top on my mark, according to my Bull of a Moon watch from William Moore Jewelers. Joe Lanier is going to stick with us for On This Day in Illuminati History. Mark. We'll get through the headlines then for Take Out the Trash News weekend of 9/29 on a Quantum News Network production of the Scooter McGee Show.
Become a friend of Scooter McGee or like the Scooter McGee Show page. More of the Scooter McGee Show in a moment. 1310 KFKA's First Alert Weather, powered by Denver 7.
This is your Denver 7 First Alert forecast for northern Colorado. We'll have mostly cloudy skies tonight with lows in the mid-40s. Highs tomorrow in the mid-60s with a slight chance for afternoon storms, otherwise partly sunny skies. I'm Denver 7 meteorologist Stacey Donaldson, 1310 KFKA.
This weather update is brought to you by CRP 4x4, located at the corner of 9th Street and 21st Avenue in Greeley. Call them at 970-351-8603.
America's Retirement Store in Loveland, 970-776-7500 or online at americasretirementstore.com.
You got a favorite t-shirt, right? Come on, admit it. You've got several. From killer concerts, the Grand Canyon, Vegas, and memories live in them. Create a treasure to remember with Windmill Productions. Years from now, you'll still be thanking Trevor and Kim for the attention to detail and quality that make the memories last a lifetime. Located at 813 East 18th Street, Windmill Productions on Facebook, Windmill Productions 914, or windmillprographics.com. Or give them a call, 970-702-2636.
My dad told me cars are expensive to own and maintain, and I told my kids the same thing because it's true. If only the maintenance costs could be lessened. They can, but the trick, if you will, is to find a quality service and repair facility like Auto Tailor. Auto Tailor will tailor preventative maintenance to your specific vehicle and then expertly diagnose and complete needed repairs using top quality parts.
It really is as simple as those 2 steps done well. Auto Tailor, a AAA approved auto repair facility in Greeley at 10th Avenue and 16th Street.
Matt Rivette started in real estate just in time for the bottom to fall out of the market, and it turns out it was a good time to start. From day one, Matt Rivette had to do it right. Serve the client. Turn for sale into sold. 32 years later, we know market conditions will change, but Matt Rivette's commitment to you won't. This is a good time to get to know Matt Rivette at Pro Realty. List your commercial, income, or residential property with Matt Rivette. Call Matt Rivette at 970-356-1234 or go to ProRealtyHomes.com.
What may be junk to you just might be another man's treasure. From stamps, sports memorabilia, silverware, or old jewelry, what may be junk to you just might be another man's treasures. Located at 2002 9th Street in Greeley, Another Man's Treasures can take these old items and convert them into cold, hard cash. Located at 2002 9th Street, remember Another Man's Treasure.
So you think the Pawn Stars are in Vegas, huh? Have you been to City National Pawn? 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley, and you're the Pawn Star. With great deals on commercial and industrial tools, electronics, smartphones, laptops, and fine jewelry. So many great deals and a constantly changing inventory guarantee you get the best deal in town at City National Pawn. Need quick cash fast? City National Pawn has got you covered there too. Monday through Friday and Saturdays, remember, you're the Pawn Star at City National Pawn, 3301 West 10th Street in Greeley.
The home of the UNC Bears.
Yep, throwing down the right side. Has his fullback. It's Miller for the touchdown.
Northern Colorado's football station, 1310 KFKA.
After a thrilling win this past weekend to open the Big Sky Conference season, the Bears continue the conference slate by visiting Flagstaff and Northern Arizona. I'm Troy Coverdale. Join Aaron Rath and me beginning at 4:05 Saturday for Blue and Gold Game Day. The Workout West kickoff is at 5:05 on 1310 KFKA.
When marketing your business or event, you really need something that screams,
"Look at me, remember me, come back to me!"
With Signs First Main Street Promotions, I assure you, you'll have just that. Did you know promotional products have the highest advertising recall over television, print, and online advertising? 73% of people use a promotional product at least once a week, while 45% use it at least once a day. Visit Signs First Main Street Promotions to see how they can help you get your brand in the hands of more potential customers. That's signsfirstgreeley.com.
Broadcasting from enemy territory, from FEMA Region 8. You're listening to the Scooter McGee Show on News Talk 1310 KFKA.
The following program is closed captioned for the thinking impaired.
Welcome back, Gotham. Let's give Joe Lanier the last word regarding the conspiracy keepers and the NFL flag controversy and where he sees it going, and then we'll get to On This Day, and then we'll call it a YouTube video. How's that?
Okay, that sounds fair. Well, I just want people to understand what people that have listened to us for a long time. You have to understand you can't take the world at face value. You have to understand that the media is controlled. Everything is controlled by the people that we are exposing right now. So everything that they do is for an agenda that's going to help them and bring in a new world order and make you fight among each other. So anytime you find yourself in an argument, Democrat versus Republican, and you're passionate about what you believe, take a deep breath, step back and say, oh, somebody wants me to be like this. So conversely, and I've been on Facebook this week, and I see all the hate. I don't care if it's Donald Trump or whatever, and Colin Kaepernick and the owners. I see these people that are so passionate about what they believe in, and they hate each other. And I want both sides to step back and say, who is making us like this? Why is this like this? Do they want us to fight among each other? Yes, they do. They do not want unity among the American people because that is death to them. They want us to fight against each other like pit bulls, and they will create situations to make us like that. So that's what we're dealing with right now in the NFL. That's what we're dealing with in politics. We've dealt with the same thing back in the Sadducees and Pharisees. There's nothing new is under the sun. It's the same tactic to make the people fight among each other and not know who the real enemy is.
And on that line, what then is the solution that will be presented to us? In the world of problem, reaction, solution, we're talking about the problem. You've laid out what's next. So then I guess that a natural follow-up would be, okay, if what I'm hearing, I'm sorry, and I'm taking you now at face value.
Oh, well, you can me, because there's no hidden agenda with me.
No, that's what I'm saying.
With the New World Order.
I'm taking you for face
value.
So you've identified problem. You've explained it. And we've talked about potential, here's where it's going. Okay.
Right.
And that's fine. Well, a part of the Hegelian dialect that we've always talked about is problem, reaction, solution. What then do you see being, here's the solution?
The solution is exactly what we've been talking about before. No division within society, no division within nations. We want a one-world government, which will eliminate Democrats, Republicans fighting against each other. We want a one-world police force, which will eliminate the factions that we're fighting against the police. We want a one-world monetary system, because then we won't have to fight against trading and the dollar values versus the yen and all this kind of stuff.
Yep.
So their ultimate solution is have a one-world government to where all these problems will be solved.
It's funny how all these events are leading up to, again, the Russian Revolution of November from 1917, as I fear that's going to be one of the target dates they use that flips, where now the former Soviet Union, you have more freedom and liberty there than you have here in what was the United States of America.
And by the way, we're not free. So anybody who says, we're a free nation, this should tell you right now what we've been dealing with.
Hey,
you're
dude.
Not free. You're not free to say what you want.
I've asked.
You're free to say what you want unless you want to be ostracized and outcast and fired from your job, which is what Donald Trump said.
Right.
But by the way, Donald Trump is a puppet. He's not a controller. He's a puppet for the Illuminati.
And people are rapidly awake again. It didn't matter. Government got back. Government got back in.
Yes. Yes.
No, Joe, I've pointed out on the show, and I've done this, and I've opened the Greeley Westside Liquor hotline that you can still call and get delivery, 970-353-0036. But in shows past, I've pointed out, under POTUS 44, all the different taxes. And remember, the whole comment started, if you don't make $250,000, don't worry about it. Then they changed it to $200,000. Well, one night, 1 hour, Gotham, tell me one thing you're free to do. And for and for an hour, Joe, do you know what I got?
What's that? No doubt. No doubt. No doubt.
I don't mean to.
Know.
You brought it up, and I'm just, and you. It's okay. You were busy chasing skirt and drinking, so you have an excuse. But no, I came on the air one night, and so again, here's what he said, and then I started laying out, all the taxes that you don't think you pay. Here are the taxes you pay every day, pointing out that taxation is theft. And you all talk about how we are the freest nation in the world. Tell me something you're free to do.
Yeah.
I had dead
By
air.
the way, let me add to that. If you think you're free, tell me something that you're able to do without having money.
I rest.
Well, basically, Tell me what you can do without having a Federal Reserve note in your pocket if you think you're free.
And if you don't, guess what? They throw you in the pokey, and then it costs more to get you out because now you're a vagrant.
Exactly.
Here we go with On This Day in Illuminati History. Headlines 9/29/17, still on false flag alert. Be aware. It is on this day, 1789, a regular army is now established with the U.S. War Department and several hundred men, of which we weren't supposed to have a standing army.
Still not.
It is on this day, 1930, as we turn the century. Thomas Lowell now making his debut on the all-seeing eye of CBS Radio. He stays in radio for the next 46 years. (1943), during World War II, General Dwight David Eisenhower, along with Italian Marshal Pietro Bagoglio, signing the armistice aboard the British ship Nelson. It is on this day, 1951, the first televised network football game. CBS.
Wow.
It was the University of California and the University of Pennsylvania. It is on this day, 1957, the New York Giants play their last game at the Polo Grounds. The following year, the Giants, of course, go to San Francisco. 1962, President Kennedy now nationalizing the Mississippi National Guard. That, of course, Joe, as you remember, in response to the city officials defying the federal court orders, that, of course, to enroll James Meredith at the University of Mississippi.
Yep. Right.
And that infamous one with Bobby where he says to the governor, I think at lunch you should go out and read the Constitution.
Yes,
remember that?
Right. Yes, I do.
67, Joe. Tomorrow, the IMF reforms the monetary systems around the world. And gee, it's just a few years later, Nixon took us off the gold standard. What a coincidence. 83, the War Powers Act is now used by the first time by Congress for the authorization from Reagan to keep Marines in Lebanon. It is on this day, 98. Oh, which, by the way, Joe, another one, not that we deserve validation, NASA having to admit all 7 astronauts were alive until they hit the water.
You know, we got to talk about that. NASA, not another 7 astronauts, not another straight answer, because, yeah, those astronauts are still alive. And by the way, they didn't even bother to change their names. They went into other occupations, which you can find them on the internet any day of the week.
I know. I just wanted to bring
I know.
So, anyway, it's 88, the Discovery now takes off from Cape Canaveral. This, the first flight since Challenger's disaster.
Yes. Oh, my goodness.
Which, again, that's tomorrow. But, yeah, Monday, take out the trash headlines. They announced over the weekend, the astronauts were alive when they hit the water. Well, excuse me?
Yeah.
I thought they blew up in space.
Yeah.
And then 2008, Joe, was the infamous fat finger. The Dow Jones losing 777 points.
Yes.
And then that, of course, coming after the House had voted down the $750 billion bank bailout. You know, the money we absolutely need to have right now, or the world's going to collapse. And that was 9 years ago. Tomorrow.
We have to understand there is a slave system. There are the elite, and there are the slaves, and we are the slaves.
As always, my friend, thank you for your time. Find Joe Lanier on the World Wide Web, theconspiracyzone.org, conspiracykeepers.com, or, of course, you'll see him and I chatting once in a while on Facebook.
Very often.
Talk to you soon, my friend, all right? And, yeah, we'll get
soon.
We'll get with Backlash. No,
soon.
either next week or the following week. We'll figure out Backlash's schedule, and I'll get Mrs. Backlash something nice.
Very good. We will all do that. Yes.
We'll get her booze from Greeley Westside Liquor.
Yes. Oh, whatever it takes.
So again, yes, they won't deliver to Greeley or to Denver, but yes, you guys in Evans and Greeley can still get it delivered. 970-353-0036. Joe, thanks. We'll see you. Get out of here, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you, Scooter.
Gotham, when we come back, if we have time, we'll reset with Shell. But guys, let's just, we'll tease next. Let's do Phil for this. Actually, you know what? I'm stopping it right here.